Hey, Jillian.
Hi, Jeff. How are you today?
I am excellent. So, welcome to the Last Life Ever podcast. I'm Jeffrey Holst. That's Jillian Sidoti. And we have a very
Hi.
special guest today, don't we, Jillian?
We do, because he's going to teach Jeff how not to die.
Yay!
It's going to be so exciting.
I don't actually want to die, so that works really well for me. But more specifically, he's going to teach us how not to die while running a half marathon in Kauai next September.
Yeah. So, and Jon is like this really cool person who realized he had terminal kidney disease, and yet he is able to run a sub 4-minute mile. I think it's amazing.
And he literally just told us he's contemplating the idea of running in the Olympics in 2024 as a marathon runner. So if he can do that, we can certainly figure out how not to die. So anyway, let's just go ahead and bring Jon on the show. What do you think?
I think we should do that. And I want to say to everybody, if you have questions about running or any kind of endurance athletics, is that the way to say it? Yeah. Endurance athletics. Then I want you to get your questions ready. Put them in the comments, because you're not going to get this chance to ask somebody of Jon's caliber every day. So, all right, let's get started, and we'll be back with Jon.
Help me, my brother, can you lend me a hand as I walk through this land of confusion? If we give to each other, then there's nothing to take. Let's live life for the moment before it slips away.
Hey, Jon.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the program. I'm super excited to have you here. I read your story online. I actually went on my local Murrieta Talk message board, and I said, does anybody know a good local running coach? And I was really looking for a running coach for myself, and somebody had mentioned your name, Jon Rankin, and I went and looked you up, and I was so impressed with your background that I thought, I gotta get this guy on the Last Life Ever podcast. So here you are. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here. So tell us, what's the first thing Mr. Jeffrey can do, or any of us can do for that matter, if we want to run our first half marathon?
You know, it's obviously there's a lot of things that you can do, when you're trying to get into the running thing. But I always say that the first thing you have to do is just start really, really simple, really small. I mean, getting into the routine is, I think, number one. There's a lot of running coaches out there that are great, and they'll give you a whole training plan, and there's all the stuff that you can do. But my advice is always, unless I'm directly coaching you, I can give you all of that stuff. But if I'm going to answer the question in a way that's really, really understandable and something that's actionable, it's, I think, focusing on the small stuff. Like, I would rather you build a great routine and just kind of get yourself consistently doing a workout every day or every other day, and building up towards having been active for however many months leading into that half marathon. So my number one thing would just be get into a good routine. Choose what part of the day that you're going to get outside and go for a walk, go for a jog, and make it really simple. Literally say, I'm just going to go around the block, and reduce any complications that you can come up with, any excuses that you can come up with. This is going to prevent you from, being consistent. And I think you'll set yourself up for success, because it's the consistency in whatever you do, number one, that I think is going to allow you to prepare as well as you possibly can for running 13.1 miles.
13.1 miles there, Jeff. You got that?
Yeah, and not that I've done the math on this, but that's like 6 miles longer than I've ever run before.
Yeah.
maybe like 7 actually. The longest I ever did was a 10K, and I did that last year, 2019 actually. So,
what was your preparation like for that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really prepare. I'm just stubborn. Yeah. So I was dumb. No, I started, I did a lot of treadmill stuff. You said run around the block, but you obviously haven't been to my neighborhood. That would be like climbing mountains, because I live in a pretty mountainous place. And I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I live up on a ridge. So the block was really helpful when I wanted to train for climbing mountains, not so much for running. And that's actually why I ran that 10K, because I was planning to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And my brother said, you should run this 10K with me if you want to climb Kilimanjaro. You certainly can run a 10K. And so I spent a few months of time in the gym, going to the gym pretty much every other day, like you said. And I spent some time on the treadmill and some time swimming. That was pretty much my strategy. So,
yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that you have to do is kind of build up a tolerance for being on your feet, and running for that long. So, whatever your anticipated pace is going to be, you for sure want to have at least done some work where you're running at least maybe 75-80% of the entire distance. At some point, you build up to that as like your long run. You don't necessarily have to run the full 13 miles in one training session. Like for a marathon, for example, you wouldn't run 26 miles. You might run 20 up to maybe 22 miles in a training run for your longest run. But you're going to run somewhere between 9 and 10 miles for your longest run. And everything else is going to be, some really easy runs every other day. And then some.
Wait. Hold on. Did you say really easy runs? I don't think that doesn't exist. Like if I run from my kitchen to my refrigerator, I'm tired. Like I don't get to. There's no such thing as an easy run.
Well, there is. Look, if you can, whatever your paces are, right, and you gotta push yourself.
No, just to be clear, a good pace for a half marathon is a 35-minute mile pace, right?
Only if you want to be out there for a very long time.
Well, it's
my God, Jack.
You're like, no big deal.
Jack, you're going to be scooped up by the sweepers.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. So I gotta do like 30-minute miles. I got
Listen,
it. All right.
I think you reasonably, and John can correct me if I'm wrong, can get yourself to a 12-minute mile.
No, I can't do that.
What?
I can't do that. I know I can't do that. I can't run a 12-minute mile now. Not a single one, not 13 in a row. Guaranteed. Won't happen.
Wow. That is not the Jeff I know.
Well, let's work backwards. When is the race going to be?
It's Memorial Day weekend.
No,
Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend. Yeah, Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So we got 10 months.
Okay, right. So I think that by the time you get to it, if you're consistently doing the work, I think you can run 12-minute miles for sure.
Well, my goal, in fairness, when I did the 10K was just to do 14-minute miles. That was my goal. And I made it by like a minute to spare. So I was happy with that.
Definitely do this.
But that was a long time ago, and it was before I got lazy and drank a lot because of coronavirus.
I mean, at least you're honest with yourself, but those are things that can be fixed.
Yes.
I can't go back in time and not drink a lot. That's actually not possible. But no, I do get what you're saying. And 12 minutes, that sounds fast to me. I think when I was in middle school, I ran a 12-minute mile once.
Yeah.
And I probably cheated. Maybe I did like 3 laps around the track and called it 4.
Yeah, we had like a junior high. We had like the big old grass field, and so it's like it's about 4. It's about 3 laps to a mile. We're like, oh yeah, I'm sure it is. You don't know, and so only on the track can you really know what it is because it's already measured out, and it's hard to like fake it, unless your coach is not looking, and then you just have a miscount. That was 4. That was 4.
All right, So 12-minute mile pace. So all right. So I haven't run at all in fairness since the 10K. Not a single step of running. Okay, I have walked a fair amount, including climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in February of this year. which is, was 68 kilometers and 19,000 feet. So it wasn't nothing. It was actually the hardest physical thing I've ever done in my life. I really did think I was going to die. One person in my group actually almost did die. Ended up in the hospital for 4 days with acute mountain sickness. So,
wow.
So that was, it was challenging, but on the other side of that, to prepare for that, I walked a lot of hills. Because that's really what it is. It's a long uphill walk. So I figured that the best way to train for that was to walk uphill.
Yeah.
You think I should start by just getting back to walking, or should I just start to run right away?
Yeah, this is the thing. Race day is so different than any other day. So, I mean, I'm actually very excited for you. I'm kind of jealous because running is so magical, man. We were joking a little bit before we started. I said that running is like, especially a half marathon or a marathon, you get to experience like life within those, within the beginning, the first step and the last step, your starting line and the finish line, because you're going to go through a gamut of emotions. You're going to experience like this exhilaration of like, oh, okay, here we go. This is fun. And then a couple miles in, okay, this is kind of starting to hurt. And a couple more miles in, I don't know about this. Why am I doing this? And you're going to go through all this stuff. And then you're going to start thinking about your life. And you're going to start thinking about the problems that you have. And you're going to start thinking about what you want out of life. And then you're going to think about all these things. And you're going to go through all this stuff because you're out there. You're thinking, you're running. And that's what's great about running. It's basically, therapy on your feet. And then by the time you work through the struggles and you think through some things and you kind of go through this emotional journey that you're physically putting on display. And then you get to the finish line and you feel like, wow, I did it. I can't believe that I did it. Now I believe other things are possible. It's like this thing that just sets you free, and I think that that's maybe the most beautiful aspect of running, because the more you do it, the more it does that for you. And I think it's probably one of the healthiest things that anybody can do, simply because it forces you to and puts you in a position to really deal with what's going on inside.
I can see that. I mean, that's how I felt when I was in high school. I was a long distance swimmer. So, that's how I felt whenever I was doing 500 meters or more. It was like there's this period of time where you're just completely in your head, and you get to a point
beautiful.
Where it's definitely a different experience. And I felt that on the mountain actually too. Because, especially the last night, I don't know how much you know about Kilimanjaro, but the last night you leave at about 10, 11 at night, and you climb through the night and try to summit by sunrise. And because I was slower than a lot of people, I left like an hour ahead of everyone. And so I was literally on the mountain by myself with just one guide and myself. And they have the summit porter that kind of carries some extra supplies and stuff with you. So there's just the three of us, one of them, which didn't speak English at all. And the other one, his English was okay, but it wasn't amazing. Right. So there's a lot of time to think when you're doing that. You definitely do feel a lot of emotions during those times, and it does make a difference. So, all right. So let's say I don't die, and I make the 12-minute mile pace, which sounds horrible. I can't even believe Jillian's just committing me to stuff, which is why I'm committing her to run the whole marathon at a 10-minute mile pace. Too late. I've just committed you. You can commit me to stuff. I should be able to commit you to stuff.
No. I'm committing to run the same thing that you're running, and I'm going to run it in a 10-minute mile. So So
you're going to just make me look stupid, is what you're saying. I'm running past me and laughing at me as I come across the finish line.
I didn't say anything about that. Okay. I said that I'm setting a personal goal of doing a 10-minute mile.
No, you should do the full marathon and get a 6-minute mile pace, because then we'll finish at the same time. And we can cross the finish line together. It'll be fantastic.
That's too funny. No.
No, I don't think so. My left knee would never go for that, first of all.
My left knee wouldn't go for that either. When I was running the 10K, I really did feel a little bit of pain for a few days after that in my knee. then also, I have plantar fasciitis, so I wear like medical inserts. So I would be a wreck if I tried to do it.
Sounds like a lot of excuses, but I have some questions.
Of course.
I
jab.
Yeah.
I don't like her very much. Do you want to be my new co-host, John? I mean, I'm thinking about getting rid of her.
No. John already has his own podcast, and if everybody wants to check that out, it's the Go Be More podcast.
That's true. And please. A Go Be More apparel line. Why don't you tell us about that real quick, as long as we have it brought up?
Yeah, I mean, I like to pretend that I'm a superhero, and so I decided that I'm going to take all the stuff that I've learned from my life and package it up into this apparel company called Go Be More, inspired by the Gingerbread Man. And the whole idea is changing the narrative that people have for themselves. We all need to be our own heroes in life. And I feel like everybody has the ability to be more than that than they believe they're capable of. And so even when somebody, when I know you're joking, or maybe half joking, Jeff, but like it really is important to me to tell people that we need you to believe in yourselves. Because we need you to go be more. We need you to do this half marathon. We need you to know what you're capable of and to test your limits, because the reason why we're dealing with so many problems in the world right now, why we're in this state, we can blame COVID, we can blame Donald Trump, but the reality is that we have to take some responsibility for not living up to our full potential. And that's, partly because of the narrative that we've grown up listening to, which is, you're supposed to do certain things like get married, go to college, have kids, get a job, make a little bit of money, hopefully, and then die. And I'm like, that's not really living your life, because nowhere in that narrative has anybody said anything about, and you're supposed to chase your dreams, And I'm, decided to create a company where I could spend every day telling people that you need to chase your dreams and that your dreams are the solution to the problems that we face in the world today. If everybody feels fulfilled, they will feel differently about doing something about the problems we see in the world. People have stopped giving a shit, and I think that people need to change that. And that's the purpose of this brand, is to spend every day telling people we believe in you and that we need you to chase your dreams,
Yeah, I got rid of Jillian because you're my new co-host. And,
Jillian's going to kick my butt.
Because that is... No.
That's fantastic. That's really...
If you think I'm going to make you run, John's just going to make you run harder.
Yeah.
He's a running coach.
But I like his story better than yours. All you do is like say, I can't run a whole marathon at a 6-minute pace and finish the same time as you. I think John would do that for me. He would do the marathon, and so we could finish together. So
I would do it. I would do it.
See, but you could be more, Jillian.
You know what? I am going to be more. I heard that loud and clear. I believe that John is speaking not just to you, but to me. I think a lot of us need to hear that. I loved it. And to that end, what I do, to your point, Jeff, about, running a marathon and doing it in 6-minute miles, that's not going to happen, because it's just not going to happen. But I do want to run the half marathon faster than I would, in other circumstances. I don't know what she's doing back there, but
I love it.
My dog's back there, for those of you that are listening to this, doing something weird. The next question about running is, so Jeff's trying to work up to running and just getting around his block, or, running a mile and then running 2 miles and 3 miles and getting up to 10 miles until race day when he runs the 13. But how do you get faster? Like what do you do to get fat? Like in my case, I believe I can run 13 miles. I'm out of shape. I got to work back up to that, but I know I can do it because I've done it before. Yeah. But how do I get faster?
Honestly, I'm kind of a funny coach, and I've been enjoying listening to and following pretty good friend of mine, Ryan Hall. He's the American record holder in the marathon, and I love following him on Instagram. It's so funny. Even though I'm a world-class runner, Ryan's one of the greatest marathoners, not only in American history, but ever. And he's, changed his lifestyle. He's now like extremely, he's, to put it bluntly, he's shredded. He kind of looks like The Rock now. But he's focused on his health. He's focused on all these intangible things, or not intangible things, but these things that like we take for granted when we think about how do I improve as a runner or as an athlete. And he talks about rest. He talks about the power of sleep and the importance of getting that deep, awesome, amazing rest, because that's really where all the magic happens. Whatever work you do, you will not benefit from if you're not recovering. And the recovery primarily is going to happen first with the rest and then with the diet, And so I really believe that, again, if I'm going to give just super practical advice, as a runner, I'm going to tell you what I know worked. I slept 10 to 14 hours a day because I was training so hard. And the only way to recover so I could do it again was to sleep. And so I slept as much as I could at the height of my career. And honestly, I was so competitive, in terms of like performance wise. I was doing really, really amazing stuff, but I'm like, there's no way if I could have done that on lack of sleep. And lack of sleep for us would have been anything less than 10 hours. And so obviously not everybody needs to sleep 10 hours, but your rest has to be a priority in your training. Like that's one of the easiest things to fix. Just saying, I'm going to bed earlier. I know Netflix is awesome. I know Disney Plus is awesome. I know all those things are great, But I got to tell you, at some point, you have to choose you over that stuff. And that your health has to be a priority. And so rest is number one. And then, of course, diet. And the simplest things you can do in your diet, I'm going to give you a diet routine. Literally, you should be doing this every day, no matter what. Hydrating like crazy with your water. Definitely getting in your vitamin C at the minimum, just to help your immune system. And then, of course, fruits and vegetables. Primarily the dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, arugula, anything, avocados, apples, all the green stuff, kiwi, get it, eat it a lot. Antioxidants all day long, all the berries, those highly nutritious, dense, nutritious stuff before and after any workout. I'm going to tell you want to see your performance improve without having to change your training. Get a lot of rest and eat better and stay hydrated daily. And you'll be shocked at honestly, losing unwanted weight and feeling fitter, feeling more energized, and just feeling recovered. And that feeling leads to better performance.
This is really awesome. And I'm wondering, like, I know you have a very interesting story in the sense that you have overcome, I guess you haven't overcome, you're still suffering with terminal kidney disease. And so it's really important for you, not just from a performance like measure, but also just for health in general, just to stay alive. You probably have to do a lot of things. But how do you manage having a terminal kidney disease as well as, being a high performer?
My journey is definitely not the typical one when it comes to my disease is called focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, or FSGS for short. And
that's what I'll call it, because I'm not going to remember that. I'll just call it FSGS.
She always abbreviates my terminal diseases too.
Oh yeah.
See, and the funny thing is, Jillian, John actually thinks I'm joking, but it's actually true.
No,
yeah. No, I have chronic myelogenous leukemia.
What?
Yeah, it's fine. It's under control for the most part, but it's abbreviated CML in our world. So I was actually being serious when I said she abbreviates my disease too.
Well, first of all, they have some crazy names for these things. They actually do mean something,
Like exactly.
Mine means like basically the scarring of the outer lining of your kidneys, and it's the slow degradation of your kidney function as the scarring, gets worse. It worsens, right? And so over time, your kidneys will lose the function, and full function. You'll end up on dialysis, and you'll need a kidney transplant. The sad thing with kidney disease, and I'm curious about your disease too, with regards to what I've been dealing with, it's kind of a miraculous situation. I can't 100% confirm that this is the reason why. I've talked to so many world-renowned doctors in the world of nephrology and in stem cell treatment. And the reason why I bring stem cell up is because in 2011, 3 years after I was diagnosed with FSGS, I had experimental stem cell treatment specifically for trying to address and treat my kidney disease. It was experimental, meaning we don't know what it was going to do, good or bad. There was implications that, the stem cells have the ability to heal and regenerate damaged parts of your body. And there's also the possibility that they can have an adverse effect as well. That's just the way the treatments go. You never know how anybody's going to respond to any treatment, regardless of what the percentages say.
Yeah. I mean, you might have 90% or 95% or 99%, but there's still some chance that you're going to respond differently because nothing's 100%. So,
and we don't know. The doctors, I asked them, I talked to them recently, and it's funny, like you hear something and you ask them a couple times, and then you haven't about it in a while, and you start wondering. They said I was the only one who's had this treatment, quite possibly the only person in the world who's had this treatment. And for some reason, this treatment I had 9 years ago, my disease has stopped progressing. In fact, it seems to have gotten my kidney function has improved quite dramatically to now where it looks like my numbers, checking on an annual basis, it's like I have normal kidney function. It's like as if I never had FSGS. But literally 3 months before the treatment, I was halfway towards kidney failure. So to not be showing signs of any of that, to not have any progression, in fact, to have it go backwards, I'm like, they're like, well, we can't really attribute it to the stem cell treatment. And I'm like, well, that's fair. That's fair to say because you haven't done it with a lot of other people. But I'm like,
maybe we should try it on some other people, right?
Well, that's the thing.
It's like, maybe we should try that.
Yeah, and the thing that sucks is that it's not that they don't want to. It's a really weird situation right now in the United States in regards to stem cell. It's just not really allowed anymore, and there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of cases. Are some a case at least right now being dealt with, at least with the doctors that I've worked with, amazing men that I've worked with, and I'm so grateful to them because I think that it helped. Because I'm doing great. And I felt actually way better immediate after having the stem cell treatment. The cool thing about stem cell treatment is that I've heard from other people who've had stem cell injections and stuff like that into their body. It gives you this sense of like heightened mental acuteness and awareness and euphoria, like this sense of like you feel very, very alive. And I'm like, wow, is something being turned on internally? I don't know what it was, but somebody who had stem cell treatment, not for their kidney disease, but just in general, I spoke with them and after I had my treatment and they said, hey, so are you experiencing that euphoria? And I said, I thought it was in my head. For 3 or 4 months, I never felt more alert, more capable of taking one thought and taking it and doing the action immediately. There was like no hesitation. I tell people, you remember the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper when he takes the pill and he's able to, that's what I was doing for about 4 months.
Wow.
And then it goes away. And I'm like, oh, I want it again. I wrote so many, I'm a writer, so I wrote so many articles. I was doing all this stuff. And I'm like, it literally was just flowing out of me. Everything I ever wanted to do, writing wise, I was just doing it. And I'm like, oh man. And then one day it just went away. It fades away. But I'm like, that's so cool about stem cell treatment. So all this stuff you don't know. And my stem cells came from me, my own body's, my body fat. It came from me. They re-injected it in through the kidney artery in my right leg. And they shot the concentrated stem cells into my kidney. And then we just waited and see how my body reacted to it. And they said, maybe you had Olympic stem cells. Who knows? Because the response is like kind of crazy. And I'm like, maybe because my whole body cellularly was living this Olympic life. So maybe that's a factor. For sure, it is a factor. There's different studies of science that are out there, like nutrigenomics and things like that talk about the total possibility of all these other things, external environmental factors, and the way that you think, the way that you feel, what you're being seen, told, fed, and every single facet, whatever's around you, your environment is in affecting you cellularly, and whatever is going on on a cellular level, it's going to affect your body's response to things. And I think that my body was like, bring on the stem cells, and I think it helped. But I want to encourage more research because I think stem cell is the future. To be honest with you,
I'll tell you. So there's a lot of parallels to my own experience here.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah.
So when I was diagnosed in 2008, by the way, also, it was September of 2008. Can you match me on that? Was it September for you?
Was close. I had the surgery, I had the kidney biopsy in November. I was diagnosed officially in December.
Okay. Yeah. So close. So same time frame. But anyway, so when I was diagnosed, I thought I was going to die for sure. Like, I mean, it was my white blood cell count was about 250,000. It's supposed to be, 4 to 10,000, right? So it was way outside of the normal range. And I didn't know anything about leukemia at the time because, like, who does when they're 30, right? And so, so when I was diagnosed, the only thing I really knew was that my cousin had died of leukemia a couple of years earlier. And when she died, her white blood cell count was about 150,000. So I was like, I'm like walking dead. I mean, and there was, they had to do a bone marrow biopsy, right, to confirm. And so there's this like 4 or 5 day period where I just accepted that I was absolutely not going to live. And that's been life-changing for me because having gone through that, all of a sudden it has a tendency to focus your priorities a little bit. It makes you understand. And I think you've probably experienced some of that too, because when you're looking at, a situation that doesn't look very good, for me, at least, it was like, whoa, I have to turn this around and I have to do the things that I want to do. And I have to do them now because I don't know how much time, like someday may not happen. Right. So I just have to go do those things.
Yeah.
And it's been great for me. And I formed a philosophy around this that says that's essentially a belief that we actually owe it to ourselves, but not only to ourselves, but to the whole world to live the best version of our lives. I feel like it's almost selfish if we're not going and pursuing our dreams.
I agree.
And so that's a byproduct, I think, of my disease. But what happened for me was the type of leukemia I have, it was pretty much a death sentence. If I had been diagnosed a couple years earlier, the 5-year survival rate was low single digits. But they came out with this new treatment about a year or so before I was diagnosed. That's an extremely targeted form of chemotherapy. And what it does is it inhibits a specific protein. So it's a poison, but it poisons that protein. And because of the way it targets it, this particular protein is produced only in the cancer cells and only used to reproduce the cancer cells. So by taking this 1-a-day pill, effectively, you can eliminate or dramatically reduce the presence of the leukemia cells in your white blood cells and in your bone marrow. Yeah, so I have to take this pill every day, and there's some side effects, but they're manageable. It's, maybe I get a little nausea or some diarrhea or something, but it's a lot better than diet, right?
A little nausea
Well, wait a second. So, John, am I hearing that you're committed to perhaps training our friend Jeff to run this marathon?
I remember him saying that.
I got. Yeah. You read my mind. Jeff, I would love to. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you know what? Jillian, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Oh, I know what she just did.
Yeah.
Now you got to do it.
Yeah. No, you know what? She already pressured me into agreeing to dying on September 5th. So I might as well die the right way by trying to run a better race when I die.
I'm literally already dressed and ready to go for a run right after this podcast is over. And I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to run far because I haven't been running and I'm super out of shape. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to run around the block, just like John said. And
I'll give you the secret. I'll give you the secret. This is it. So we came up with this thing. We're working on we're just kind of playing around with it. We haven't really put all full marketing weight behind it. We just want to see what the response would be to some extent. We came up with this thing called the Just One Challenge. And so the whole idea is we have a t-shirt. I don't know if I could right there.
Oh yeah.
So we have this thing called the Just One Challenge. And the whole idea is just like what Jillian just said. She said, I'm not going to run a lot, but I'm going to get out there and I'm going to do something. You win. if we can get everybody to just take the first step towards their dreams, right? Everybody says dreams. What are you talking about? Dreams are crazy. Blah 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 blah. No, guys. How do you build a brick wall? One brick at a time. That's it. Yeah. So I'm like, what are you talking about? How do you run a marathon? I don't care if you're Eliud Kipchoge, first sub 2 hour marathoner in history, or me. You know, it doesn't matter. Like seriously, you got to still run the first step. You got to take the first step. So I said, can you just get out the door and take the first step? This is what I tell people. They said, how do I get into running? If they just want to just run in general, I said, okay, the night before you're going to go run the next day, try to do it first thing in the morning, because once your day gets going, it's hard to do it. So I said, you got to eliminate all the friction. So I'm like, literally get up half an hour early. I know you're going to be tired. Who cares? I want you to have your everything you're going to wear right next to your bed. Yep. Get up, change, and walk right out the gosh darn door. Don't do nothing else. Don't do nothing else. Grab your phone and take it with you and your keys. Walk right out the door. Change and go out the door. No thinking aloud. You know, just get out the door and just get out the door. Lock the door, turn around, unlock the door, go back inside, and go back to bed for 30 more minutes. Just go outside. I'm like, just give me the first step. I need you to do that and do that for about a week. And they said, what if I want to run? Then I said, well, then go run. Okay, but if I can't even get you out of bed,
I can commit to this. So all I have to do is put on my workout clothes and step out the front door.
Every day, though.
Every day. I can commit to that. I'm going to do it. That's the first step of my running coach with Jon Rankins.
But let me tell you what's going to happen, though. So
I know I'm going to start running is what's going to happen. Because I'm going to be like, I'm out here anyway.
Exactly. This is the just one challenge. So when I say, okay, the first challenge has been 1 push-up a day for 30 days. You know, there'll be like, what? I can do 1 push-up a day. I said, first of all, how many push-ups have you been doing? Right, 0. So if you could do 1 a day, why aren't you doing at least 1 a day? You say you want to work out, but you're not even doing 1 push-up a day, and you say it's easy. Okay, fine. Now we know you haven't been doing it, and you say you can do it. I need you to do 1 a day for 30 days. What if I want to do more? I don't want you to do more. I want you to do just 1. It's the just 1 challenge, because it's not about how many you do. It's how consistently you could do it.
I think that's great.
We're starting this tomorrow, Jeffrey. I'll do it at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. You can do it at 8:30 in the morning. We'll do it together.
No, all right. So you want me to wake up at 8:30 in the morning? Are you crazy? I'm going to put this on my calendar. My running coach once told me that I needed to sleep 12 hours a day.
Oh my God.
It conflicts with this training. That's part of my training.
Oh my gosh.
No, but
oh my gosh. This is so funny.
Listen, all kidding aside, Jillian, that's fine. I will put on my workout clothes at 8:30 in the morning. You can call me and confirm that I'm doing it too.
Yeah. And then if I do it at 5:30,
that'll be the same. Yes.
Half
so
hour.
I'm in the Eastern time zone. So
okay.
Yeah, it's the same time for us that way.
And so what I'd love for you to do though is we need accountability partners. Like the reason why Jillian's so great for you though is she joshes you, she pushes you a little bit, and it's a blessing. What a blessing! Seriously.
Oh, Jillian is a blessing. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I like to think once in a while I push her in the right direction too.
Oh, she definitely does. She definitely
does. But yes, it's been really great getting to know you, Jillian. I'm sorry that I have to kick you off of my show. She's gone again.
You're gonna get it. You are gonna get it.
Oh, yeah. The funny part is she has complete control, so she can add herself back. Oh, she did it.
So listen, I am so excited, Jon. This has been
wait. First, we have to cover one thing. Okay. Jillian's not the only person harassing me. There's a random Facebook user saying that I should run because it won't hurt me. And then, just to be clear, immediately following that comment, my wife said, "Love Becky Holst." So apparently, my wife agrees with Jillian and Jon that I should be running. Okay, Go ahead, Jillian. I just wanted to throw that out.
I'm just super excited. Jon, I hope you'll check back in with us. I want to hear all about what training you're doing, because you revealed to us, and I don't know if you want to talk to us online, you're training for something really big right now, right? Do you want to talk about that?
Well,
we mentioned it actually already, so it's already out of the bag.
Well, look, I mean, I love sharing goals and dreams. I mean, not everything works out, and that's not the point in chasing your dreams. When I talk about chasing your dreams, I tell people all the time, like, I have so many dreams and goals, and I love talking about them, not because they're going to come true, but because I'm excited about my life, and I'm excited to try. And no, for sure. Like I've had the Olympic dream. I've made an Olympic team as an alternate 2008, qualified for 2012. I didn't compete in London in 2012. And that's kind of where I stopped really heavily competing, for sure. So I wanted to focus on just kind of quote unquote living a less busy lifestyle, professionally running wise. But I'm trying to come back. I do want to run, at least one more competitive race in terms of an Olympic race. And I'm thinking the marathon in 2024 for the Cayman Islands would be great. Obviously you never know.
Wait. So you're going to run for the Cayman Islands. So are you a citizen there or?
Yeah. That's where my family's originally from. So
awesome. So does that mean that if I go to the Cayman Islands, I can hang out with your family?
You could.
Because that's a very last life ever sort of thing to do, to hang out in the Cayman Islands. I love scuba diving, and there's great diving there.
See, I will get you in trouble though, because then we're going to enjoy some Tortuga rum. We're going to have
we definitely will
Johnny cakes and oxtail. We're going to have some conch stew and fritters.
We're going to wait till after the race for that, because I won't need to be in shape anymore, because I'll have done that one thing.
Or we can just all go. We can all go together. They got a half marathon and marathon every December. And we can just all plan 1 December to go down, do the marathon or half marathon together, and then say, look, we're going to spend a week after the marathon and just indulge.
So if we did that, we would want to do it next December, because we'll already be in half marathon shape from running in September. Just got to keep ourselves busy for 2 more months. So we'll consider that, because I do love Grand Cayman. Actually, it's a beautiful island, and so where's the 2024 Olympics? Like where would you be running at?
I got to double check, because I think it was confirmed that it was Paris, France. I think is who's hosting it. So I think it's Paris. Now. Yeah, I think it's
Paris. That's right.
So I think it's Paris in 2024, and then LA. They got 2028.
Oh but LA is too far away. I'd rather go to Paris. I don't like that LA stuff. Like, that's why I never go visit Jillian.
Oh,
too close to LA. But
John's in Orange County. You're in Orange County, right, John?
Yeah, I'm not here.
That's why I don't go visit him either.
I was wondering. Now I know. All right.
Since we go way back to like almost an hour ago now. So,
almost.
So well, listen, it's been really great having you on. Seriously, like I had no idea what to expect. But I really, really, really love the Just One challenge. I think that's really, really cool. And we're probably going to steal it and incorporate it into our lives, into our group, because we have a thing we call the Kind Morning Challenge. And I think that the Just One thing really would really fit into that, because Kind Morning is K for one random act of kindness every day, I for investing in yourself every day. And then N and D for no distractions or no drinking. And it's a 40-day challenge. And the idea is to build a habit and clear your mind and spend that time. And then the morning part is just to create a morning routine. And really the, Just One can fit perfectly into that morning routine.
It definitely is something we want people to steal it and take it. I mean, everything we do is
we feel about it too. That's why I told you about it. I'm hoping you steal my idea.
I actually think it's great, because we would say go be more kind, and then we could break it down with that specific acronym. And I mean, there's so much commonality between what we're doing, and that's the whole idea.
What you guys are doing is amazing, and it fits really well with our mission. So I'm really glad to get to know you about that. We could add you on just to talk about Go Be More. We wouldn't even talk about running, but I appreciate that as well. We're wrapping up here. Is there anything that you would like to share with our audience that you haven't already covered?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very fortunate. So really quick, because of my battle with kidney disease, one of the things, and I think, Jeff, we probably have this in common. I would assume, based on the kind of guy that you are and the life that you're living, that you're involved in some way, shape, or form in the community of people that are dealing with your disease as well. And I feel like, that's been a big part of my calling, is to, help beat kidney disease globally. And I'm part of, actually, as of today, it's officially launching in Australia. I'm like the official ambassador, one of the big names behind pushing this national campaign in Australia. Even though I'm not in Australia, they reached out to me, the Kidney Health Australia organization. And we're doing a lot of collaboration throughout the entire month of November. Throughout social media, you'll start seeing a lot of stuff about the Red Sox Appeal campaign. Let me see. I have the socks over here on the other table. I can't reach it; it's too far. But basically, you buy a pair of these Red Sox by the organization, and you're active in them. You take pictures in it. You talk about it. The goal is to raise awareness and obviously funding for this organization to support patients and families dealing with kidney disease.
Do you know their website? Do you know the website of this organization so we can share that, or?
Yeah, I think it's just kidneyhealthaustralia.org.
Okay. Yeah, if it's different than that, then feel free to send it to us and we'll put it in the show notes. That'd be great to be able to support that. We have a few people in Australia that listen to our show. We know that for sure. So at least they should be involved in that. But it seems like anybody could be. It doesn't really matter if you're in Australia or not. So
the idea is that this is, even though the reason why they've connected with me, I've been very open about my kidney disease, because, and not in the beginning I wasn't, because I was confused by it. I was very mentally, or the mental aspect of it, that was hard. I did not know what to do with it, because I was 26. I was at the height of my career, and then I'm told I'm going to die, and that there's no cure for my disease. And I'm sitting there going, I don't even know what kidney disease is. What are you talking about? I just made an Olympic team. So I was very confused for many, many years, and I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't feel like I was having the same experience as many people who have FSGS. I didn't feel like I had a right to talk about it. But now I'm like, well, I understand it. I've been living with it. For the rest of my life, I'm going to have to live with this thing, because I don't know how long I have before it gets worse. If it gets worse, I don't know, but if it does, it's not a good life. I'll tell you that much. Dialysis and waiting for a kidney transplant is no way to live. And that's what I'm fighting against, why I want to raise awareness, why I want to encourage more people to take a kidney quiz by the National Kidney Foundation. They have this really cool, simple 6-question quiz. It only takes 1 minute. I'm actually working on a unique campaign. It's going to be launched by Gobi Moore. We're going to call it Campaign 37 Million. And the reason why we're calling it that is there's 37 million people in the United States that have kidney disease, but only about 10% of them know they have it. The rest do not. The reason why? You can lose up to 90% kidney function before you know you have kidney disease.
Oh my God, really?
People that actually have kidney disease, the thing that's crazy is the moment you get too far gone, the moment you start feeling symptoms, you're going to have a huge battle on your hands, because it's really hard to reverse the damage that's been done and the implications of that damage on your life physically. Boy, I tell you, if you thought being disciplined and having to deal with, eating the wrong food sometimes and how that makes you feel is tough, imagine having to deal with that when your kidneys aren't working very well. It's not a good life. And so to prevent that is really, I think, the number one way to stop kidney disease from becoming a bigger epidemic, because it is an epidemic, a health epidemic globally. And it's a huge drain on our economy. The cost of dialysis on our economy is one of the biggest costs health-wise, almost over anything else. It is crazy. And yet nobody knows about kidney disease. And I'm like, how in the world have we not had our cancer moment yet? Everybody's at risk for kidney disease. There's nobody that's not at risk. And so it's like, just know if you are at risk through your family history. Know if you have a history of diabetes or high blood pressure. Know these certain things that are indicative key factors for kidney disease. And if you are, get checked. And if you're checked and you find out you might be at risk, you can do something about it now. And the sooner you do something, you'll never have to deal with kidney disease in the way that those who find out too late do. And you don't want to be one of those statistics. You just don't.
Right.
So that's my mission.
Yeah, with most of this stuff, prevention is always the best strategy, right?
Totally.
And you can, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's cancer or whatever. Like, you're just better sooner. Like any disease, the sooner you know, the more options you have. Well, that's all really great advice. Thank you so much for the show today. Jillian, do you have any final questions, or are we ready to wrap up here?
I think this was amazing. I thank you so much, Jon, for being here. We're going to check in with you regularly and make sure that, you know, both Jeff and I are doing all the things we're supposed to. I love the fact that you shared that last part about the kidney disease. I had no idea about any of that. I would always think that your kidneys would hurt to know those kinds of things. So this was fantastic. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned, and Jeff and I will wrap up the show. Thanks, Jon.
Thanks, you guys.
Jon.